Hey everybody, it's your friend and your guy and your favorite YouTuber who just needs to cut his zip ties, Gardiner, the Linux gamer. Oh my god. Alright, so we have some interesting news today. On Tuesday, Epic Games announced that they are releasing, or they're creating their own storefront for PC and Mac. And we all know what PC means, right? This is really interesting. I want to dive into this a little bit. We'll talk about my 5 reasons this is a bad thing in a minute. So what they're doing is they're creating their own storefront. They're evolving the Epic Games launcher that they use for Fortnite and some other Unreal Engine games, and they're turning it into a competitor to Steam. So I'll just read what they say here at the beginning. For the past 5 years, we've been building tools enabling Epic to bring our games directly to players. We built the Epic's game launcher on PC and Mac featuring Fortnite and Unreal Engine. We built a worldwide digital commerce ecosystem supporting dozens of payment methods, and we gained great economies of scale thanks to Fortnite's growth. Fun fact, also thanks to Fortnite, Unreal Tournament's not getting any love. As developers ourselves, we wanted 2 things: a store with fair economics and a direct relationship with players. And we've heard that many of you want this too. So we'll soon launch the Epic Games Store and begin a long journey to advance the cause of all developers. The store will launch with a hand-curated set of games on PC and Mac, then it will open up more broadly to other games and to Android and other open platforms throughout 2019. I'm going to get my tea real fast, and we'll continue this. So I'm of 2 minds about this, as I suspect most people will be. I'm a little bit happier now that I have my tea. It's a little too hot to drink, but we'll get to that in a minute. I have 5 reasons here that I think this is a bad thing. I'm going to follow this video up on Monday with 5 reasons I think this is a great thing. So let's just jump into these reasons. Now, I just jotted these down. I haven't really given this a whole lot of thought. These are just like my first 5 reactions, my first 5 negative reactions to this news. If you disagree with me, feel free to leave a comment down below or head over to the forums and tell me that I'm an idiot. So the first issue is that having multiple logins, accounts, libraries, and friend lists is just stupid. It's lame and I hate it. So the first issue here is that Steam really used to be the de facto standard for PC gaming. It really was. I mean, until late last year, if you were a PC gamer and your friends were too, chances are y'all had Steam accounts, you had a sizable Steam library, and you could play your games with any of your friends, right? Now we have Origin, at least on Windows, they have Origin, Uplay, whatever the hell Bethesda's doing, right? And now we're going to have the Epic Store. It's truly a shock to me that this hasn't happened earlier than now. Like, it's 2018, Steam's been around for over 10 years. How did these AAA publishers not realize, hey, we could go make money over here doing our own thing instead of going through Steam? The fact that now any AAA publisher can create their own storefront and they're doing it, I mean, that sucks. I really hate that. I mean, raise your hand if any of you in the audience, and I can see you, raise your hand if you have any streaming services besides Netflix or Hulu. If you do, why? I mean, to me, this is the exact same scenario. Just because these companies can see a potential source of extra revenue, that means they're going to jump on it. And I really don't like that. There is such a thing as too much choice, and it really is just awful. And these companies are going to be selling, probably the same games, like Bethesda, for example. What happens when they want to take Skyrim off of Steam and sell it on their own platform? It's that's not as far-fetched as it seems. This is a game that a lot of people on Steam own. There's a lot of mods and everything built up around this game, and Bethesda could be making more money selling Skyrim on their own platform. And that kind of brings me to my next point. Digital assets are basically worthless assets. If I have a pile of Microsoft points in one hand and actual feces in the other, which one is more valuable, honestly? It really bothers me that people are willing to trade actual value, money, for things that have no value, like the license for a game through Steam. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. I can't tell you how many times I've bought a game through Steam and had the anxiety of knowing that, if Steam just goes away one day, or if my account for some reason gets banned, then I don't own any of that stuff. I have no recourse anymore. That money that I've spent is just gone, and I have nothing to show for it. And most of the time I buy my games like DRM free from GOG or from a Humble Store. But sometimes you don't have an option, and you got to buy the game through Steam. And it's like, there goes $20 to $40 that I'm never going to see again. At least when you used to go to the store and buy a boxed copy of the game, the only thing that could take it from you was like theft or a natural disaster. But now it's like, it's a little digital license that can be revoked for any reason, for any purpose, not even if you're getting banned. Like, just what if Valve just goes away one day? Really, like, that's a terrifying idea. And there are some people who are like, Valve's too big to go away and all this stuff. But it's like, they never thought the Titanic could sink, and it did. And it's like, that's terrifying. And that actually brings me to my next topic. This is likely to create a race to the bottom, and we might not like how that turns out. So unlike the crap-ass stores that are full of suck and are terrible that come from like Bethesda or EA, Epic actually has the potential to create something cool. So why would that be a bad thing? Well, this has the potential to create like the arms race of who can have the lowest cut from a developer, from a sale on the platform. And while that's probably good for developers, it might not be good for the creators of the platform. I have no doubt in my mind that a company like Steam is going to have a very hard time adapting to a different revenue model than they've become accustomed to over the last 10 or 11, however long Steam's been around, years. Legend has it that their teams are, totally decentralized and basically work, any employee can basically work on any project they want. And Gabe is used to operating at an income level for the company and at a year over year growth that they have seen. And now that there's like actual real competition from a company that can actually undermine Valve's revenue model, I think that's going to be really hard for Valve to actually adapt to and to combat. Now, that's a bad thing because, like I was saying earlier, what if Valve just can't adapt? What if they have to cut projects back? What if they have to shut down? Or not even shut down? That's a bit too extreme. What if they find that they need to sell out to another outfit? And what if this other outfit changes Valve's platform, just changes Steam and the unwritten like contract between us, like, we're Valve, we're not gonna like screw with your library that much, and then you guys all out there, you can buy any games you want. What happens when all of a sudden somebody else owns Steam and they change how your access to the library works? It's not as far-fetched as it seems, my friends. Or, what happens if Valve decides that they can't afford to have people working on Steam Play anymore? Or they can't afford to support, their hardware projects or the other operating systems that they support? Where are they going to have to make cuts? Will their investment in growing Linux as the de facto gaming platform, will that change? Will they have to axe that? We don't know. The whole idea of Valve having competition, we've never seen that before. Like being forced to deliver something other than the status quo that they've come to rely on. We haven't seen what that looks like for Valve. We have no idea how they're going to react to this. And it's this uncertainty is what it makes me feel a little uneasy about this announcement. So, all right. So the next thing on my list is that Epic is partially owned by a Chinese company, which that Chinese company is under the jurisdiction of a fascist regime. For me, this is closed source software. This is software that has the potential to contain just about anything that the company that makes it wants. And they don't have to really tell you what kind of metrics they're gathering or what kind of information they're scraping from your computer. So I don't trust any fascist regime, and China's one of them. And you know, these companies are that, you know, like Tencent, which owns 40% of Epic Games, is under the jurisdiction of the Chinese government. That's just scary to me. Like, what happens if Tencent decides that they want to own a majority control of Epic and they, you know, force it somehow? And what happens when the Chinese government's like, yo, we want to collect information about, you know, gamers, you know, in the United States, and they just decide to inject spyware into the next release of the app? I care about privacy. I don't feel like I'm the only one, you know? I don't trust proprietary software that comes from companies that are under the jurisdiction of fascist countries. I don't like it. I don't want it. It's not a good thing. You might disagree with me, but that's where my head's at. And, you know, I honestly don't like the idea of, you know, companies in the United States that are like partially owned by companies that have like this, you know, loyalty to a fascist dictatorship. I don't like it. I don't think that it should be allowed. And I don't think that like American companies should be interfacing with fascist regimes. I don't like that. I might be an idealist, but you know, I want to know what you think. Let me know down in the comments. You can feel free to call me an idiot or whatever. I don't care. And the last thing on my list, and this is like the most relevant thing to the channel, there is no announced Linux client. Obviously, this is something I'm going to talk about. If you're here and you're new to the channel, then, you know, hi, I'm Gardiner, the Linux Gamer, and I talk about Linux things. This game store is only on PC and Mac. PC and Mac. Now, when a lot of people say PC, they mean Windows. That's what they mean. And so it kind of sucks that this company is not releasing. You know, this company's not going to be supporting Linux gaming. Where, you know, GOG, Humble, Valve, Itch, they're all supporting Linux games, and I feel like it's kind of a necessity in this day and age to be enabling Linux gamers to do the stuff that they do, to use the operating system they want, because really Linux is the future of gaming. And if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. It will be. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, those are my 5 reasons why I think it's a bad thing that Epic's releasing their storefront. But I want to hear from you. Do you think it's a bad thing? Let me know. On Monday, I'm going to be releasing my 5 reasons that I think this is a good thing. So if you disagree with me here, check out that next video coming Monday. All right, here we go. Clipping my zip ties. You happy now, Gnarlin? Are you happy now? But that's it for now. If you believe in the work that I do, you can support the show with a monthly contribution over on Patreon, or you can pick up a t-shirt. There's a link down in the description. But no matter what you do, whether you hit that like button or share this video with your friends, don't forget to subscribe to see more from me, the Linux Gamer. And as always, thanks for watching.